Sorry. All rise, please. Next flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome to the September board meeting of Will Township. Everybody's present except for Rocky right now. He might come in a little bit late. Has everybody, trustees, had a chance to review the minutes as presented by the clerk? Glenn will not be with us tonight. As I said, he's in Japan, in Korea, looking at all the corn they grow over there, I guess. Glenn's quite active. You know Glenn? You know Glenn. I know you do, Steve. Glenn's, he's our photo op guy. He takes pictures of all the politicians. He invites them to his farm.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Motion to approve. Paul, second.
I'll second.
Warren, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, we're very honored to recognize a good friend of mine, Steve Knickram, and Nick Ficarello and his wife Barb. Nick called me and asked if there might be an opportunity for him to address the board and maybe some issues that we have with regard to the upcoming election next year, right? 14. So Nick, we thank you for being here. Barb, Steve, it's always good to see you, Steve. And we're missing one trustee right now. We have limited attendance a lot of times in township meetings, as you're probably quite well aware, especially in township, since we don't have any villages within our township. So, but at the last meeting we had about 50 people, because that was about the Eliana.
I saw that online.
So we had good attendance at that particular. And as we get into the election year, if we have more candidates come, I'm sorry we couldn't put you on the agenda right away. We could have you on the reader board outside saying candidate for sheriff Nick Ficarello will be in attendance. We might have got some more people that way also. It's a long campaign, so you might be happy to see us again.
I'll be happy to come in.
Yeah. Do you have a presentation?
Sure. I can if I may tell you a little bit about myself. I was a Will County Sheriff's Police Officer for 31 and a half years. The current sheriff of Will County, Paul Copas, is not seeking re-election. I worked for Paul. I advanced through the ranks up to the rank of Deputy Chief in that 31 and a half years. I have worked in or supervised every aspect of the Sheriff's Department. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I have also attended the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia, along with the FBI's advanced course for law enforcement executive development. I have three major issues on my platform. One, I believe, is concerns the citizens of Eastern Will County. I'll start with the first one. We have to address the drug problem in Will County. We had 53 heroin overdoses last year. That's up from 29 in 2009. I believe that the current Sheriff's Department could do a lot better job working with the local law enforcement agencies in addressing this problem. Currently, we also do not have a canine unit in the Sheriff's Department that works patrol. Very odd for a department our size not to have a canine unit, especially if it pertains to drug interdiction or missing children or missing adults. The next issue I think that affects the people in Eastern Will County is the sheriff's response time. In Chicago City, I know sometimes it's a bad word, but in Chicago City, they have a system called citywide radio frequency, so that every police officer, whether it's Chicago police or university police officer or railroad police officer, gets a dispatch of an in-progress violent crime. I think that's what people are mostly concerned about, is in-progress violent crimes. Here, in this area, and in most of the Eastern Will County area, we don't cooperate with the locals in having one radio frequency to dispatch. Peatone might be closer to respond to something in Will Township than a Will County police officer. Besides having a minimum staffing of 3 officers out here, I would like to incorporate a county-wide frequency so that whatever police officer is closest to the in-progress crime, it's a burglary in progress or a theft in progress, or just say somebody's trespassing on your property and you won't get off. Whatever law enforcement agency is closest responds until the proper agency gets there. In this case, in Will Township, it would be until the proper agency, such as Will County Sheriff's Police, get there. This doesn't happen currently. Fire departments do it, but so far police departments don't. So that's one of the things I'd like to address. And I'd also like to address a special victims unit for the Sheriff's Department. Currently, we have detectives that are general assignment detectives that handle crimes of sexual assault, sexual abuse, crimes against the elderly, and crimes against the children, along with domestic violence. I believe that we could do better. I believe that we could take some of the existing detectives and also some patrolmen on each shift so that they are more sensitive and more aware of these types of crimes, so that they're handled properly, and so that the criminals are put away and the special victims are handled with the right care that they deserve. Along with this, I believe I'm a fiscal conservative. I believe that the Sheriff's Department should not exceed its budget. Currently in the state of Illinois, everybody knows we exceed our budget at the state level, but I believe at the county level I could stay within our state budget. Other than that, I'm a lifelong resident of Will County, and I've been a Republican since I was 19 years old. Love to come back, anytime you guys want to have me, and if you guys have any questions for me, willing to take any questions. I'm an NRA member, lifelong NRA member. I'm an Illinois State Rifle Association member. I like to consider myself a lifelong conservative since age 19.
We have, let's see, just lost my train of thought here. Oh, we have had the great opportunity to have the officers of the Will County attend our meetings. And although, like I say, sometimes we don't have any issues, most of the time the issues are in the springtime through the late fall, where the crops are starting to grow and people are starting to rip off ATVs and whatever they might get their hands on because the crop's growing and easier to disguise and they can run through cornfields, etc. We really appreciate that. I think, who was the sheriff before, Paul? Brandon Ward. Brandon, I think, initiated that. Is that right? Where he would dispatch his officers. They would be responsible for stop again. So Brad's been here a couple of times. Who is the lady officer that comes in?
Taylor.
Pardon?
Taylor.
Sergeant Taylor has been here, and that is a program I'm sure that the trustees and myself would like to see continue. That's a really good program. The issues you talked about, the response time, yes, that is very important to the residents of Eastern Will County as well as any unincorporated area. The crime hasn't been as bad, I don't think, this year as far as robberies and burglaries.
There's been some things going on the last couple of months.
Oh, really?
There has been some along the Kankakee County line again and State Line Road residences that I've been made aware of. But, having some break-ins.
We had somebody in place.
On your place? Oh, okay. I know there's some issues that I got a call from Joliet. Matter of fact, the Will County Sheriff's Office telling us that there were some vans out in the area that needed to be kept an eye on, stuff like that. I've received phone calls twice in the last month and a half from Will County notifying us that there were issues in the area. So we get on our stand line, which Judy O'Gala has done a terrific job with that, and our neighborhood watch thing. And so we appreciate that cooperation from the Sheriff's Office as far as letting us know what's going on.
Something that has recently started to happen, was it an automated phone call or was it a person-to-person phone call?
From Will County?
Yeah.
I don't know who it came from, they addressed themselves as the Will County Sheriff's Office. And Bruce is on the call list, and so am I. And then, of course, we disperse that information to our trustees and our email list, so we can let our constituents know that there is some good things going on in the area. But the response time, I really, maybe not to now is not the time to get into it, but how difficult would it be to get this program going where you could, if the village of Beecher police officers were closer to an incident rather than have to wait for a Will County? Is that happening now, apparently now?
It doesn't happen as much as it should. Beecher, when I was still working, I retired in 2009 after spending 31 and a half years on it. Then I went back to work by getting a squad car in Posen, Illinois, at age 53. Get it back, or actually 54, go back in a squad car so I wouldn't lose touch with what was happening on the street. In Posen and the surrounding villages, they have a system similar to that. Here, before I left, I think it was in 2007, Beecher, Peatone, and Monique came on the Will County Sheriff's Police radio system. However, there's not one unified frequency. With a flip of a button and an incorporation of one more what they call a talk group, it could happen. And it has. There's not the amount of, I think if you talk to the chief of Peatone, he might tell you that there hasn't been the cooperation that there should be, especially in drug investigative work out here. I'm really surprised that here in the unincorporated area in this community, usually in southern Illinois, there are crystal meth labs. But so far, knock on wood, they seem to come up with the border of Will County and stop. Very few crystal meth labs. Kankakee has some the further south you go, especially in the rural areas. They go into the rural areas to cook their crystal meth. Maybe just a matter of time before they finally come into Will County. But that stuff's even worse and highly volatile. So I believe we need to have more cooperation with our local police and the sheriff's department through a countywide frequency for response and also on special investigations like drug investigations, because a lot of times these drug addicts also commit the burglaries and the thefts to support their habit.
Yes, sir. The future of the county police department as far as recruits. Are you able to get young people coming into the department? Are there people in training?
One thing I proposed when I was a deputy chief was a cadet program. A cadet program / community service officer program. In other words, they have to either pass, we hire them on, we bring them on at age 18. They're unarmed. We pay through the sheriff's department for part of their college. So they'll get at least a 2-year degree. And in that time frame, we'll be able to see what they're really like. They can handle some of the maybe traffic direction. They can handle some of the calls that come in at Laraway Station where you don't need an armed officer, but they can do the police report there. They can help out with dispatching. They can handle almost every aspect except any type of armed situation. And possibly use these cadets up until age 25. Either they have to get hired by the sheriff's department, be on our list to be hired by the sheriff's department, or go to a different police department. But at age 25, we don't want them to stay and take up a position. We want them to move into the police ranks. We could even use them to help supplement our correctional officers, because the correctional officers, when they're behind the walls of the jail, are not armed. So that's one thing I proposed previously as a deputy chief under the current Opus administration, but it never took off. And I believe if we use them as cadets, we would have the union support from the sheriff's department union, because we're able to see what these guys are like, young girls and guys are like, before we actually bring them on as police. And we probably get a better crowd of people. And years ago, some of the other police departments used that, and I thought it was excellent.
Who do we have out the fair now? Is that auxiliary? Warren is the treasurer and officer of the Will County Fair. And I do what Warren tells me what to do. Here I tell him what to do, there he tells me what to do. But, but there was the auxiliary, Warren, that helps you. So the auxiliary, with regard to your cadet program and the auxiliary program, two mutually exclusive? Are they totally just separate from one another?
Yeah, those two would be separate from one another because the auxiliary volunteers currently they don't get paid. They're on a strictly volunteer basis. They get a certain amount of training so that they can act as police while they're with a sworn officer. And in certain situations, like at the fair for traffic direction or whatever, they're the police. They have the same arrest powers. Off duty they don't, but they're not technically fully sworn because off duty they don't have full police powers. Like as a police officer, I have powers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, technically. If I had to take action, I would be covered and indemnified, for an arrest, or if I was hurt off duty, I would be entitled to medical treatment paid at the county as long as I was acting under the color of law. The cadet program, it would be separate. Obviously, we wouldn't pay them the same we're paying our full-time officers. But we'd be more concerned in them going to school and getting a degree and working in a certain capacity. But for preferably a lot less money.
Anything else? Well, we know you got a full schedule, and you're open to stay for the rest of the meeting, but it's going to be very boring. And I'm sure you got other things that you can do. We certainly appreciate you coming out, and we hope to see you again.
I hope so.
I'm sure there'll be other, I know they have the Creek Women's, they have a good thing going there as far as they introduce all the candidates. And each year, I'm sure they always usually do something, so I'm sure we'll see you come by.
Thanks. Yeah, Steve thought it'd be a good idea for me to come out and at least get my foot in the door and have you guys meet me. Good luck with the grassroots movement on the Ileana project and the grassroots movement you guys have been performing for the last 30 years or so with the airport.
Yeah, well, we work hard at it. Hopefully the right politician will listen someday. Thank you very much. It was very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks. That was very nice meeting you.
Very nice
Thank you for coming out.
Well, this is my right bar.
Thank you, Brent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
all
Thank you.
very much.
Okay. We don't have any Will Township Plan Commission reports. Bruce?
As usual, if you've got any questions on the bills, I've got the invoices here to back up any questions if you want to look at them, so they're here. The only new business I have in our budget, I had allocated money for the purchase or lease of an end loader, and the last few months I've been looking at some. I have found one I'm interested in Hudson, Michigan. I've got a couple of pictures here of it. If you'd like to pass it around and take a look at it. It's in our budget number. I had budgeted $50,000. That one there is $47,900, I believe. So I have some paperwork here for Brian. If you would fill out a lease application, I'm going to try to purchase it through a lease rather than us taking a loan. It makes it easier and cleaner for the township. The only thing I would like to do, if you would approve of it, I would like to request a $2,500 check as a down payment while we're in the negotiation process and waiting for a credit approval, or a lease approval, I should say.
An institution you want to deal with?
Well, the dealer recommended the financial group called Accord that they do business with.
Oh, okay, so it's through their
financial.
Oh, through them.
Yes. She said they do municipal leases. So I've got the paperwork there. I'm not going to buy it sight unseen. I would like to take a drive over there and take a look at it.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to have a blind date with something, so
Now you want me to fill this out?
if you would, please.
Okay, so you want me to fill out this paperwork. Is there somebody I can come visit over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then through the negotiations, I'll see what I can do about delivery fee or getting it into Illinois at a reasonable rate.
Did you say Michigan?
Yes, Hudson, Michigan.
What funds is coming out?
Years.
Oh, building equipment. Because I think we still have some money outstanding for OCU too.
Kind of what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But I have to get the details and see what the lease agreements would be.
Okay.
But I just would like to have somewhat of a commitment that I could go forward with it and represent the township in the purchase of it, not just be doing it on my own.
You thinking of leasing it or buying it?
It'd be a lease purchase, Jerry, that's the way we do most of the equipment.
Okay.
It makes it easier for Brian and I. Technically, the township cannot borrow money to purchase anything, so you have to write it up as a lease.
Okay.
So you mean you pay for it incrementally
Yes,
as a loan, but it's a lease?
yes, and just like a piece of farm equipment element, the last payment is a small one, and then that's the purchase. Maybe I can get trustee Asbrand to get out of bed early some morning and we'll go take a look at it.
Don't take the blue truck.
That was what, Wednesday?
Yeah, it's a short week, really.
What, are we checking on Friday?
I don't know.
Because I leave for vacation Saturday.
We're talking about Friday.
Thursday, Friday. I should get done with the Silverstone tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe we'll get John to go with us.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. We should drive and look it over.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna fight over the telephone.
Well, I think you've got approval of the board, right?
Is that got a 2 cubic yard?
Pardon?
The bucket on it, it's a 2?
Yes, it's a combination. It has a bucket on it, and it also has what they call a tool carrier, which is a set of forks with a grapple on it.
Seen that there? Yeah, because you don't really want anything under a 2
No.
cubic yard, but no. Okay, good.
Anything more, sir?
No, I think summer work's progressing fairly well and started on Egyptian Trail north of Beecher Piatone Road, so got a 36-inch culvert to put in there tomorrow, and I'll have the worst of that job done when I can finish getting the stone on it. I am gonna get it tarred and chipped this year because I told the people we would, so I will get it done.
I called, Judy took the call. There, one of our neighbors reported some illegal oil dumping. Did you take a look?
Took care of it.
Thank you, Bruce. Assessor Estella's not here, but we have some good news from our assessor in training to be. Have you told everybody yet?
Well, no, I guess not. I finished the classes that I was required to take to be certified, and so that's in the works whenever they send me the paperwork. And I will, I'll be qualified to be designated, so.
Good. Oh, that's good news.
Very, very good.
Finished a little sooner than I thought, so it's a good thing. Done before harvest.
Mhm. Our clerk is vacationing in Japan and Korea. Actually, not vacationing, he's on a business trip with several other corn growers, so we'll wait till Ben comes back, because he'll have to make a full report in case he wants some mileage or something. Mileage to Korea? Yeah, mileage to Korea.
So the Illinois corn growers, where are they?
It's other states, though.
Oh, okay.
It's other states, Homer, so I'm not sure. But he said it was a Corn Growers Association, but there were other people coming from
He got on
other
the
states.
national marketing board, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think it is.
that's what it is. Okay. As far as the supervisor comments, we have the Old Mill Fall Festival Extravaganza on Sunday, September 15th. If they wanted some donations and stuff, but I kind of didn't put it on the agenda because I think we were approached last year, but we didn't do anything, as I recall. I'm not sure it falls within our mission statement, but anyway, I wanted to Make sure that you were aware of the fact that the Old Mill Fall Extravaganza is September the 15th at the Ratchie Mill. The other thing, obviously, the IDOT people have reared their ugly head again with this ombudsman thing. I don't know how far that's going to get. But they hired an ombudsman at $90,000 a year to interact, I guess, between IDOT, who IDOT picks the lawyer, I guess, and then these people, the ombudsman, will interact between the landowner, the residential landowner. Now, that doesn't mean the farmland, though. It's just residential, right?
No, farmland, it's all of us.
They include you in residential? Well, anyway, so IDOT has reared its ugly head once again with regard to the ombudsman, which they tried how many years ago and didn't work. I guess they don't listen.
This will be the number 2 ombudsman.
Yeah, the second one.
Yes.
They tried one how many years ago?
Well, she gets paid too. The last name was Gorman. She's the ombudsman for the airport. And this handsome gentleman is going to be the ombudsman for the OEM. And Judy is trying to find that out now because there was talk that he received $90,000 up front. That's the way it came out in the paper. But now the county is backstepping and saying, no, he's only going to get paid when he submits time. But he was selected by the county, paid by IDOT.
Oh, selected by the county? I thought he was an IDOT.
Well, Jim Glasgow selected him.
No. It never seems to end. With regard then to IDOT, there's a couple of meetings coming up this week, I think the 9th, from 1 to 3, again, tier whatever, meeting whatever. But it's important that you can get to these meetings to keep up with what's going on. I'm going to go myself. I think it's on September the 9th, I believe, is the date. The 9th is what? I don't even know.
It's Monday.
Monday?
Where's
Yeah.
it at?
At the atrium, I think, isn't it? No, where is it? I don't know, you got me. I'll take a look at my notes. Otherwise, it's at the high school. It's a good question. I'm sorry I don't have the
smaller
answer.
ones, the general public is always at the high school.
Yeah.
And then the smaller ones, where you're more individual ones, are always at the fairgrounds.
This will be, is this supposed to be for elected officials? Or whatever. So I'll find out where it's at, those of
I
you
think
who want
it'll
to
be at the
go.
fairgrounds then.
Fairgrounds.
That's where, I think the last one was, but I'm not gonna say. if
Yeah,
it's-
I thought it said at the atrium.
That's
Maybe
what I'm
I'm
thinking,
wrong.
'cause that's where the last one was, but they could have changed.
And there is, the Illinois Department of Transportation cordially invites you to attend a public meeting regarding the development of its upcoming 2015-2020 proposed multimodal transportation improvement program. This will be at the Jacob Henry Mansion Estate in Joliet, of course. They want to come out here where it's really happening, so that they'll have it in Joliet, and that's on October the 8th. We will have a meeting prior to that. We'll talk about that again if anybody wants to go. That's it. 3 to 6 p.m. I would imagine it's probably the same thing. It's just people there to answer your questions. It's probably not a major presentation, but that's all I have.
What's the time of the IDOT one again?
The IDOT one, this one, Paul?
No, over.
The other one is 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
1 to 3, and I'm assuming that that's safe to do, that it's at the atrium. 1 to 3 on September the 9th, Monday, a week from yesterday. Rocky's not here to give us any information on any emergency services situations. Trustees at this time, do you have anything, Paul?
Yep, I got 2 items.
Good.
A couple of weeks ago, on Friday, somebody drove into my property, and he was wearing, the yellow stuff and stuff like that, asked if he could take pictures of all the buildings. He says he was with the Ileana Expressway. He couldn't get the pictures from the road, so he asked permission to come in and take pictures. Very interesting. They are concerned about the historical properties in the area, and they may make a study of my property in regards to attempting not to interfere with whatever operations that we have as a historical property. I don't know how that affects me at all, because I'm not really into Ileana, but they had to document it because it's a very important piece of property. He was documenting the Rathje Mill and feature mausoleum, and then, of course, the Christian Crone House. And the second thing is kind of a sad thing. On August 21st, we lost one of our wonderful people here in the township. Helen Bunty passed. I went to the funeral on that. Fabulous lady. She almost made 102, just by a couple of weeks. I'll pass this around if anybody wants to see it. I enjoyed visiting with her. Of course, she told me I had to bring my dogs. I was not allowed to come along. Fabulous person. She dedicated her life to the farm, to the family. I believe her parents died young, and then she took over taking care of all the other siblings, and was driving a tractor until she was 85. Fabulous person. I'll pass that on. What a fact.
Yeah, I do.
Very, very nice person.
Jerry, you got anything?
I don't.
Warren? Okay, I think we covered everything that we had to cover. Bruce, do you have one of these, the new one?
No.
Then I'll leave that for Jake. They sent me 2 of them. We can get as many as we want. If any of the trustees or Helen, if you need a 2013 Will County directory, if you don't already have one,
No, I don't.
Nancy said, just call Nancy.
Okay.
Call the clerk and they'll send us one. They sent us 2. I have one in my office. Bruce has one for the township. You should probably have one. There's a lot of good information there as far as who to call for a certain whatever. Where was she in the Bunty hire? What was your maiden name?
That's it.
That's it.
She was never married.
Never married.
Oh, okay.
The only ones left, the only relative she had was, let's see, Larry and Marvin were the nephews.
Oh, Marvin?
So there's one person in the family did marry and then had kids. So Marvin and Larry were the ones basically involved in taking care of her, but I think...
Well, see, we're just trying to figure out the tie with Roger Bunty, because Mary's tied to Roger somehow. And whenever I see the name Bunty, I'm wondering, what were her parents' name? Bunty, of course, and what was the mother's name?
I don't know.
Her grandmother. Or her mother, I mean.
Figure 102, that's
Yeah.
generation or two ago.
It's probably said in her obituary, but she's a cousin to my father-in-law, as I understand it. They're cousins. And then there was another Elmer Bunty on County Line.
Yep.
I think that's a,
That might have been a brother.
That was her brother.
Yeah.
And then she had her brother Walter that lived down on the gravel road south of her.
but the obituary didn't live, I thought it was her brother, but the obituary didn't say she had a brother Elmer, did it?
I don't think so.
No.
Just said
I
that
wondered if
she
he
had
was a
2 nephews and
cousin.
2 nieces.
That was
I don't know.
Are the bills done, Jerry?
Yeah, except for Rocky.
Yeah. Just have some. Note that in minutes. Okay, I'll have a motion to approve the bills, please. Paul, second.
I'll second.
Warren, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next township board meeting will be October the 1st. Wow.
Wow.
Right off the bat, on October the 1st. And let's see, we've gone around the room. Is there any other comments before we motion to adjourn?
I just have one comment in regard to the IDOT and the Oleana. I don't know how many of the people here worked at the table at the fair. I know Jerry put
I
in
did.
hours there. And Virginia told me today that she submitted sufficient petitions of 2,700 signatures.
Good deal.
Wow.
So
Yeah, we did.
she mailed those to
Mhm.
a registered mail to CMAP this afternoon. So
Speaking of CMAP, I did write a letter. I got notified by
I did too. I did it online.
Virginia,
And it was,
yeah.
yeah, I did too.
Virginia.
It was somehow through the Sierra Club.
It was.
Yeah, but yeah.
And I had to have my grandson help me. I'm shameful at a computer. But anyway, I did it.
I did
And
it
then
too.
I think I'll take my letter and then submit it to the vedette.
paper, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's good follow-up. Motion to adjourn?
I do.
Jerry, second. Warren, all in favor?
I.
Guess I made every second tonight.
There was a couple of notes.
That's all right, somebody's gotta do it.
Yeah, somebody has to do it.
She'll shoot. I took care of the interest thing, we got wages on there. I complained about the fact we paid all her and how come we get charged, so they gave us, they knocked off almost $50. And I finally got the credit sent in for this one bill for 8 at
The
best.
county wanted to make some historical notes and things
I
like
got
that.
a reimbursement of $110 they charged us for
Oh,
that.
for that
So
repair.
there's a
I
major
got
treasure
that.
that's
There's the
ever-
credit that I finally
A
took.
big tree.
Hell,
We had this credit,
Oh.
just 4 or 5
So,
months. I can't give them the credit.
I had to negotiate with the county,
Yeah,
but she's not
yeah.
happy about it.
Okay. And the
She only
GE
has
capital, I
certain
don't have
things
the
that-
card, so I
So
don't know
she
why
said
they
that yes, the
telling
county
us.
We
can come,
destroyed that.
providing my
Oh.
dog is there and everything else is there.
Well,
Yeah.
nothing I can
And
do
it's
without the card.
interesting, they never
They're
did
gonna
finish
ask
the
you for a
project,
number,
but I do have
so I don't have any, I've got records on this, but it goes back a couple, 3 or 4 years.
An interview with Helen with my dog.
And this is,
I'm,
motor fuel tax. I guess.
I'm embarrassed to say I never met the lady,
Oh,
but
yeah.
then
You missed
after,
out.
after you talked about it, I did send
You
her a
sent her a
birthday
copy.
card for her 100th,
Yeah.
and then she sent me a Christmas